All right, we're going to go ahead and write an equation to model this situation. And after we write it, we're going to solve our equation and we are going to interpret our solution. So we need to write, solve, and interpret those three things. So let's go ahead and get started. It says the sum of three consecutive integers is 171. Well, let's break that down a little bit. First of all, it says the sum. What does it mean when we have a sum? That means we are going to add the numbers. Okay, so we're going to add these numbers. And it says of three consecutive integers. So three consecutive integers, well, what does it mean? Three numbers that are in a row. So we can think of, like, for example, three numbers in a row would be like 5, 6, and 7. Those are consecutive integers, or maybe like 9, 10, and 11. Those are also consecutive integers, okay? And then what we want them to do is we want to make sure that those integers add to 171. So let's break this down. We have three consecutive integers. Let's go ahead and call our first one x. We'll say, okay, well, if our first number is x, what is our second number? Well, okay, so how did we get from 5 to 6? We add 1. So all we have to do to get from 5 to 6 is to add 1. So all we got to do is to get from the first number x to get to our second number is just add 1 to it. So I'm going to say the second number is x plus 1. Well, how do we get to the third number? Well, if I start with 5 and I want to go all the way to 7, all I got to do is add 1 more. So really what I'm doing is I'm saying 5 plus 1, 5 plus another 1, or in other words, plus 1, that's 2. The third number is simply we take the first number x and we add 2 to it. Okay, so now we have our three consecutive numbers. They are x, x plus 1, and x plus 2. And what we want to do is add them to get a total of 171. So let's do that. I'm going to write the equation would be x plus 1 plus x plus 2. And when we add all three of these, we should get a value of 171. Now, let's go ahead and let's combine some like terms. You'll notice that we have an x, another x, and another x. So we have a total of 3 x's. So that's what I'm going to write. I'm going to write, okay, 3x. And then I'm going to combine our constant numbers on there. Notice this, we're adding 1, we're adding 2, that's adding 3. Okay, so plus 3, and that is going to be equal to 171. So from here, now we can go ahead and just do our solving. So x represents our first number. Okay, there's our equation, and now let's go and attack it for our solution. So what are we going to do? We are going to start by subtracting 3. Okay. We get 3x equals to 171 minus 3 is going to be 168. Okay, and then we are going to get rid of that 3, which is attached by multiplication. So we are going to divide by 3. Okay, so 3 divided by 3 is 1, x comes out, and we have 168 divided by 3. So let's do that. 168 divided by 3, 3 goes in 16 5 times, 5 times 3 is 15. We subtract, we get 1, 18, 3 times 3 goes in 18 6 times. So our first number x would be 56. Okay, so x is going to be 56. This is going to be the first number. This will be the first of the 3 consecutive numbers. Okay, so if I wanted to know all 3 numbers, they're consecutive. So our 3 consecutive numbers would be 56. And then 57, and then 58. Now we can't go to Desmos, we can check our work a couple of different ways. I can actually type in 56 plus 57 plus 58. Notice it gives me 171. I can also go ahead and check to make sure our answer is 56 just by simply typing in our equation, 3x plus 3, or y equals to 3x plus 3. And then y equals to 171 with Desmos, and we can look for that point of intersection, and that should give us our same value. Notice that our x value is 56. Okay, and that should clarify our stuff. Of course, we can screenshot that and put it on for a sign. All right, so that's how we find the sum of 3 consecutive integers. Okay, hope that helps.